Today's video is a bit of a different one and I don't really know how to go about making this, but I think it's nearly a month now since I last made a video and I really bloody miss it, and I don't really know what to do with my day without having YouTube as a part of it, because it takes quite a long time to do 2 videos a week, you know. That's how I spend a lot of my time, and I haven't been doing it, so I haven't known what to do with myself and everything's been really fucking shit. But I don't feel like I can just come back and resume regular content when, as you've already read in the title, my mum's got cancer. So I wanted to come and sort of explain a bit of that so that I can just jump back in and resume regular viewing, essentially. I want to just be able to go back to making my normal videos and having something to do and focus on and enjoy doing. But I feel like I need to explain it first, because shit's probably going to be a little bit fucky for me for the rest of this year at least. At least. So, I'm going to give you the timeline and the rundown, because I kind of feel like I need to do that for myself. This probably isn't going to be a very interesting video to a lot of people, but for the regular viewers that I have, the little community that we've got going on, I just want you all to know what's going on with me and what's been happening and all of that. So let's get into it. It's fucked. So on Wednesday the 12th or Tuesday the 11th of January, somewhere around that time, my mum's bloody cat tripped her over. We've had the cat for 10 years this year. We've had her a long time, Jude. She tripped my mum over. It's not the first time, but it's the first time that my mum really properly fell, and she bounced her head off the wall and had a proper big lump on her forehead. And following that, she started to become very sort of confused and not herself, and there was just something off, and I was really concerned, but I also get anxious about everything all the time, so I just kept telling myself there's nothing to worry about, just chill out, just calm down. And yeah, so I'd noticed, but I was like, no, it's just me being anxious, obviously, like it always is. And one of my biggest anxieties is something happening to my mum. So I normally go to see her every day to make sure she's not dead or whatever, and I was I'd realised that it was an unhealthy thing that I was doing. Essentially, it made me really anxious every day because I was going to see my mum expecting something horrible to have happened. So on Friday the 14th, I was I'm not gonna go see her. I've got a double date tonight and I want to spend some time doing self-care and getting ready and prepping myself, so I'm not gonna go up and see her, and it'll be fine because she's always fine, you know. And then my brother works away from home during the week, and he'd gotten home and phoned me and said is mum in work? What's going on? Because she's got things here that she'd normally take to work, and there's things missing that she normally wouldn't take to work. And I was oh, well, I don't know. I haven't seen her today. And he was oh, okay, I'll just wait for her to come back from work. And then come bloody 10:30 or something, she still hadn't gotten home from work, and she should have been well home by then. So my brother phoned me again to let me know, and I was fuck, something's clearly happening. We need to phone the local hospital and see if she's there. And thankfully she was. And we still don't know how she got herself there. She doesn't remember. She was just really confused. The hospital didn't know how she'd gotten there. She's just showing up in A&E. We don't know how she got to hospital, essentially. But they immediately noticed that she was very confused and clearly just not how an ordinary person is, you know. They noticed something was off. So they started running tests and everything, and because she was so confused and scared and just it wasn't a good time, even though they weren't allowing visitors, I got to go in and see her on the Sunday to try and sort of calm her down, show her that she was all right, kind of thing. And that was really difficult to go in and do on my own. It was really hard and really fucking horrible seeing my mum being like that. It's shit time. But the doctor at the time was oh, it'll be an infection of some sort, we think. We're running tests. But they'd done some blood tests and other tests and not found signs of an infection. So they'd started doing some scans as well. And it was on the Monday that they said because my brother does all the phone calls because I can't talk on the phone, they told him oh, you need to come in and speak to us. Bring your sister. We know that she's anxious. So you need to come in and speak to us. So we did. And that was when they told us that my mum has got lung cancer and bowel cancer. Well, they told us they were fairly sure at that time that she had lung cancer and bowel cancer, as well as a further lesion on the brain. And like at that point we thought she was going to be home from hospital in like a day or two, and that was when we realised that she wasn't going to be, because they were fairly sure that she had cancer. So they ran a bunch more tests and scans and, you know, whatever doctors do, I don't know. I've said many a time on this channel that I'm not a medical professional, I haven't got a clue. But they are absolutely fantastic, brilliant staff, and like medical professionals and doctors and nurses and everything else. They were absolutely brilliant. They really like rushed it through to get my mum like seen to in the ways that she needed as quickly as possible, and kept us like reasonably well updated. You know, there's a lot of underfunding. We're in a pandemic. For everything considering, they were beyond amazing. They were absolutely incredible, and I'll be forever thankful that those are the people that were and are working with my mum. So following getting a load more scans done, they confirmed like, yep, she has cancer. It's in the bowels and lungs. There were two lesions were found in the brain, and those weren't brain cancer. They're from one of the other cancers that have metastasized. We've been given a lot of big words and everything, and like I say, the staff are amazing, so they have been breaking it down, explaining to us what it means, but it's all kind of just a big, long, horrible blur of information. It's really bloody difficult to keep up with. So we were very quickly given over to like a respiratory team and a bowel team and a brain like neurosurgeon team, and the neurosurgeon was immediately like, okay, we can operate on this. By this point they'd done another brain scan and found that there was like the second lesion in the brain, which was smaller and deeper. So she was scheduled to go in for literal goddamn fucking brain surgery on the 28th of January. And it was terrifying. My dad died 7 years ago. One of my biggest fears is my mum also dying really soon. And it was just fucking horrible. I've never been as relieved as I was when I got the call to let me know that she'd come out and she was alright. And she's been recovering real fucking well. This surgery, like they'd already given her steroids to calm the inflammation on the brain, which was what was causing the confusion, if I haven't said that, because that's what was going on there. So she had come round to being like a bit more herself. But following the surgery, she's herself. You know, she's the way that she hasn't been in absolutely years, and it's insane. It's so weird. It's absolutely bizarre. But she recovered from it. She's obviously still recovering from it. It was really recent, but she's been doing really, really fucking well. And even straight after the surgery, she was like up in her chair having some food, you know, like she's been doing absolutely incredibly well, with major thanks to the people looking after her, obviously. So the 28th, when she had the surgery, was a Friday, and she was home on the Monday. So that's how quick it was. They shaved a little patch of hair and she had some staples in that have now been removed. And that's all looking really good. Like, as far as we're aware, they basically like removed what shouldn't have been in there. And so far as we're aware, it's looking like all the other cancers are also operable. So, you know, it's one of them where like it's a horrible situation. Like, there's no one wants to hear the word fucking cancer in regards to any family member or friend or someone that they love. But considering it's fucking cancer, it's, you know, likely to have a good outcome. You know, it could be a lot worse. It's like the best side of cancer, I guess. It's So yeah, with all of like the back and forth to the hospital and all the worry and all the just absolute overwhelm of it all, I wasn't making videos. It wasn't happening. And I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not really, because I was dealing with all this. That's how it be. You know, families always got to come first, and especially when it's, no offence, but stupid fucking videos that I post online. You know, I make them try and help people, and some of you say that they do help you, and that's amazing, but they're nothing compared to my mum, you know, obviously. So we've changed up her house a little bit. We've gotten everything so that she can live comfortably. Everything's gonna, hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, be okay. It's shit. It's absolute shit. The only thing that can be said is it could be worse, you know. From what we've been told, I think we found the cancer like reasonably early. It is going to be able to be operated on. It should all be fine. It's just going to be a tough time while we're going through everything, and there's going to be a lot of worry over things that could go wrong. Like, I'm an anxious bitch. This is the last thing I fucking needed for my anxiety, you know. Like, The first thing I needed was for my mum to actually get ill and end up in hospital the one day I don't go and see her. Next thing I needed was definitely all of this. But yeah, we're just working on getting through it as a family. My mum's way more positive and fine about everything than I am. She's an absolute rock. She always has been. She just fucking deals with shit and gets through it, and I have no idea how she does it. My mum's absolutely incredible. Outside of that stuff, I was gonna mention that I've been making little jingles, little ditties over on TikTok. Never thought I was gonna be a TikToker. I'm not all that impressed with myself, but I really needed something to focus on during all this, but I needed it to be something that I could sort of just fuck off, you know? Like, YouTube I care about. I can't just be halfway through making a video and be like, I can't be arsed anymore. I would be finishing the video and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I knew I didn't have the focus or the energy all the time. But taking half an hour to write some little shit song, like literally like 10-second jingle on a GarageBand, and then making a shit little TikTok video to it and posting it, it gave me something to focus on. It made me like, I was satisfied over having done something and created something. You know, I hate to say it, but it's kind of been what's keeping me going. Like, on the days when I'm on my own. I don't like being on my own at the minute. It's not fun. It's not a good time. I'm very fucking depressed. I'm really fucking anxious about everything ever. And I'm just trying to get through it all, you know? Like, it's a massive change in my routine. It's a massive amount of anxiety because my mum has cancer. That's just fucked to say. You know, everything's really hard and we just have to get through it. That's life, huh? But yeah, I know this won't be interesting to most people. I mean, it's not interesting to anyone, it's horrible, but like, I understand the fascination and interest of like this things happening to this person. They'll explain it, I get it. And like I say, I'm aware that I've got a sort of little community going on, and I am going to get back to messages and comments and stuff. I haven't even been replying to people, like my mum's friends ask me how she is. Like, I've not been replying to people, but I am going to get back to you because I really love the little community that I've got going on here, and yous have offered me so much support over so many other things. And, you know, may as well add this one to the fucking list. It's just exhausting and scary and anxiety inducing and horrible. And I just wanted to share with you guys what's going on. You know, it's not that I just couldn't be fucked. It's not that I don't care. It's that there's a load of crap going on in my life. I don't want it to be, but it is. You can tell I just feel awkward now because I keep singing at the end of sentences. So I'm gonna go. But if anyone wants to pray for my mum, send her some good energy, some good vibes, whatever people do. I don't know what's fucking real, and I'll take all the help I can get, you know. Pray to Allah, pray to God, pray to Buddha. I don't send good vibes. Whatever you do for people in that like spiritual way, I'd bloody appreciate it at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you're having a fucking better time than I am. And I'll see you to resume regular viewing again in a couple of days.